All right, friends, it's Blayne at Applied Leadership Partners. Welcome back to the whiteboard. Got another concept that I want to share with you today, and this one I'm sure you're going to be familiar with. It is this notion of buy-in. And so we hear this a lot, certainly in corporate culture, but across the board. We want for our team, we want for our employees, we want for everybody, even for our customers, to be bought in. We want to get buy-in. We want to earn that from people that we work with and we work for. And we're convinced that if we can get everyone to sort of buy in, that we'll be able to row the boat in the same direction, we'll make much more progress, and everything will be harmonious. And I don't want to necessarily just completely throw that out and disagree with it, but I want to offer you what I think is a better word and a better concept, and to me that's ownership. So I want to try to express to you right out of the gates here that ownership is greater than buy-in. So maybe let's dive into the semantics really quickly and see what that means. When I think about getting people to buy in, I think that means I'm trying to get others to agree with and start working toward a vision that I've created, an idea that I have, a plan that I have made. I've got something that I think is going to work, and I want for others to believe in it as I do, so that we can all start working together on it to make progress. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing terrible about that, but I think we all know now, and all the research suggests, that when people have real ownership over a vision or over a plan, that they're going to work that much harder, and they're much more likely to help you in succeeding in doing that. And so let's talk really quickly about some ways that we can maybe achieve ownership rather than just trying to earn buy-in. I think this really comes down to two categories. One of them is a little bit obvious, one of them is less obvious. The first way for your team to have more ownership in what you're trying to do is to involve them in the actual process of casting the vision, or in creating the strategy, or in putting together the plan. If folks, no kidding, have a role in coming up with what it is we're going to do, how we're going to do it, then they will, no kidding, have some ownership in that process, and they'll feel much closer to it, much more attached to it, and will likely be much more motivated to work hard in the achievement of that. I think that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of great ways to do this. It's a little easier said than done, for sure, but we work with clients all the time on strategy engagements and trying to help them bring their team in at the appropriate time to really help build the strategy and help build the plan, so that they can not only come up with a better, more well-informed plan, but also so the team can really feel committed to it. That part I think is relatively obvious. The other side of it, though, is I think that the leader in the situation, or the leadership team, has to really be clear and convicted about the strategy or the plan that they're putting in place. This I see happen all the time. Is we'll involve our team, we'll invite them to come in and participate in the development of the strategy or the plan. We say, hey guys, we want you to do this. We want this to be egalitarian. We want this to be inclusive. We want to bring everybody in. We want all your input, and we want for everyone to contribute to building this plan, which is great, but that is not enough for people to really have ownership. Or they might really at first, but they won't for the long haul unless the leaders have a clear understanding of what this is. If they can't articulate it over and over again in a way that is simple and makes sense to everybody that's involved, and if they don't have conviction for that plan, otherwise what happens is your folks won't own the plan, they will just rent it. Because they'll just say, look, great, I'm glad that I participated in building this, but at some point he or she is just going to change their mind, and we're going to pivot and we're going to go in a different direction. Or it's cool that we all had a chance to contribute in the building of this, but I'm not convinced this is really exactly what the boss wants to do, and so it's probably just going to change when we hit a bump in the road. That's the second component of this, and I think it's absolutely critical. So as much as I want to encourage you to be inclusive, to bring your people in and let them help you to co-create a plan, to create a strategy, to cast your vision, absolutely do this. But once that's done, once that's set, they have to know that you are clear on it and you are convicted and you are absolutely committed to doing that. Because if they do, then they're going to keep working hard on it, because they're going to feel like, hey, I own it, I believe in this, I had a hand in making this, and I know that we're in it to win it. I know that we're in it for the long haul, and I know that our leadership is going to support this, through thick and thin, within reason, so that we can get to where we're going to go, and we're not just going to be moving around all the time. So inclusivity, absolutely. Conviction, though, also extremely important. So if you've got something that you really want to get after, you've got to be able to share it with your team simply, clearly, and then you've got to invite them in to help you make it better, and then stay with it, and that is how you're going to get ownership.